Need to improve your club on Ultimate Team? Check out IGGM for safe and reliable coins with the link in the description. Get an extra 5% discount with code NA. For this video, I'm going to show you guys the 4-2-3-1, the second variation of it. This isn't the normal 4-2-3-1 of the cams and everything like that, the lamb, the ram, the cam. Rather, in this 4-2-3-1, there's wide midfielders instead. For these custom tactics, all credit goes straight to Savage Salty from my Discord. You can find our Discord with the link in the description. He recommended it to me and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. It's a formation that I've never used before, and it's a formation that I'd imagine a lot of people haven't used before, primarily because everyone thinks of the normal 4-2-3-1 when they play this formation. But honestly, this thing does have its benefits over the traditional 4-2-3-1. We'll go over that closer to the end of the video and things like that, but for the time being, I'll go ahead and show you guys the custom tactics and my team, as you can see right here. Custom tactics, I have it set to my defensive, and I would argue that this is absolutely a formation that is more defensively disciplined than the traditional 4-2-3-1. I'll speak on that more when we get closer to player instructions, but for the time being, we have defensive style balance, 42 width, 63 depth. My biggest frustration with the game this year is that defensive styles and things like this, like the whole defensive custom tactics, whatever, it's so linear. There's always one meta, and to be exact, the meta is you always want between 60 to 71 depth, and then your width should be between 35 to 45, and then defensive style should always be balanced. That's just, it's not really relevant to the custom tactic, it's just me kind of venting real quick. But it's really just the fact that there's no variety to it. That's just how the meta is. If you use anything else, it's just giving yourself a disadvantage. But with that being said, those are the defensive instructions. We're going to go straight to offensive with balanced and direct passing for the build-up, play, and chance creation. This one is a little bit different because, to be fair, there are times when you can use things other than balanced and direct passing. However, with this formation, that's going to be what you want the most. Primarily because balanced and direct passing maximizes the amount of runs that are made by your players while also maximizing the amount of times they're going to come short and receive the ball to their feet. So that's what basically increases attacking AI in a sense, because your players are going to be making movements that are actually relevant to you. And then your width is going to be 54. And personally, I found 54 to be a really good width for this formation, primarily because this formation puts a lot of emphasis into gaining control of our wide positions on the pitch in the final third. So 54 is going to play really well against a defensive meta nowadays, which is normally a more narrow defense. However, don't get it confused for allowing the wingers to be too wide, because they're still going to be attacking the box often. It's just that in the build-up, they're going to hold wider positions, and then as we get closer to the box, that's when they'll actually enter the box. And then 5 players in the box, primarily because this is a more conservative formation that is focused more on being good defensively first and then allowing for counterattacks after. So this isn't the traditional, formation of mine where I love playing an all-out attack. This is more conservative. This is more well-rounded as well. This isn't always, park the bus. This isn't, attacking really. It's just more careful on the attack to make sure that there's never any risk of a counterattack occurring when you decide to attack. And then corners 2, free kicks 2. I've never found free kicks to be relevant. And then corners, when it comes to 2 corners, I normally just pass it short regardless. I can't send balls into the box. I would say this is more personal preference, but for the custom tactics here, we chose corners 2. And then before we go ahead and discuss the instructions, if you'd like to see more custom tactics, or if you'd like to make your own custom tactics for me to see, go ahead and join our Discord with the link in the description. Also subscribe if you haven't already, because I plan to release a lot more custom tactics, and I also plan to review custom tactics as well. And then going straight to player instructions, you're going to see our striker right here with stay central, getting behind. This is pretty traditional for formations like these. We have a striker right here for the sake of not only obviously maximizing the amount of times he can make runs in behind for one-on-one opportunities, but also just push the other team's center backs back and allow space for our cam and our wing is right here to operate within the box in order to get space for receiving the ball to their feet or to just make shooting opportunities. But it's also basically undefeatable, honestly. And then your cam right here, we have on complete default, but then stay on the edge of the box for cross. And this right here, I thought was really interesting at first, but it makes complete sense to me. You notice that in your gameplay, I'm surprised I haven't done this before, but you'll notice that in your gameplay, when your striker is making those runs in behind when you're in the final third, your cam is going to be wide open more often than not. And when your cam is wide open at the edge of the box because your striker is pushing the other striker's back, the other center back's back, especially with direct passing, this cam right here is going to have a lot of space to receive the ball to their feet, and he'll have just the perfect amount of space if you like to do a skill move or if you just want to bang a shot and right off the bat. And Cole Palmer is the best for both worlds because not only does he have a really good finesse shot, but I can also dribble with him pretty well. So I highly recommend, if you're a 5-star skiller, try to put a player here with 5-star skills. That way you can just reverse elastical your way into the box when you have that space. Or you can just get with someone with finesse shot and just bang one in pretty easily at the edge of the box because they'll go in more often than not, especially if you can green them. And then your left mid right here is going to be on cut inside, get in behind, get into the box for cross. This will basically turn this left mid into an actual more traditional left winger. So he'll basically act almost like a second striker, especially when you get the ball into the other team's box. You're going to want a really good player here because this player more often than not is going to have the ball in a lot of goal scoring opportunities. And I'm a Chelsea fan, so I had to put Hudson-Odoi right here. But obviously put whoever you can right here that's really good for you in the attack. And then your right mid right here is going to be on cut inside, get in behind. Except this time he's going to have the bounce crossing run, so he's not going to have get into the box for cross. He's still going to get into the box more often than not. However, we're just letting the player's AI itself decide when we want to do that and when we don't want to do that. That way we can maintain some sort of structure and allow the AI to basically cook on its own. And then your two center mids right here, we're going to start with the one on the right who's going to be on cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and cover center. If you have a player with intercept plus, please put him right here because he's going to be an absolute monster right here. He's going to be intercepting passes left and right. So if you have that Jabi Alonso card, that's going to be perfect right here. Don't ask me why I have Zico. I just love Zico, so I just wanted to put him right here. But I would highly recommend, like I said, if you have someone with intercepts plus, he's going to be absolutely perfect right here. And then your other center mid is going to be on balanced defense, stay back while attacking, cover center. And then you're going to want a player here for relentless plus or a player that has quick step plus or things like that. A player that you can trust to run around and get the ball. So Rolfo obviously is a really good one, but there's also players like Timothy Ursawa or really anyone that you can trust to run around and get the ball. So players that have relentless plus as well. Sorry. But you're also going to want to have a player with really good passing as well right here because even though that it's on stay back while attacking, it's not that they're not going to attack right here. It's more so that they're going to keep a more conservative position when it comes to attacking the other team's box. So when I say that, I'm saying that they'll play a more conservative position in the attack. So they'll stay back like a few feet away from the box. So you'll still be able to get them involved in the attack. But it's not like they're going to be bombing the box by all means. They're going to be playing a more playmaking role, which not only makes it perfect for defending a counterattack, but also makes possession way more easier because you're going to have more options to keep the ball in safer positions and basically avoid losing the ball more often than you need to. And then your left back right here is going to be on bounce attack overlap. That's why we have our left mid right here to be on get into the box for cross because it's going to win this player's space to attack the box. Or sorry, attack the wider positions of the pitch. And if you can get a player here with whip pass and you know how to do a good cross, it's free goals to be honest. Especially to the far post, which your right mid is going to be holding position on more often than not. Because since that right mid is not going to have get into the box for cross forced in, it's going to be making a more different runs when they decide to attack the box. So far post crosses to that right mid is going to be really useful. And then your two center backs obviously are going to be stay back while attacking. And then your right back right here is going to be on stay back while attacking overlap, primarily because we don't need him to attack at all. And then your goalkeeper right here is going to be on comes across the sweeper keeper. When we talk about this formation, obviously we have to talk about the traditional 4-2-3-1 and what it has in difference. And first things first, I would easily say that this formation is way more defensively disciplined than the traditional counterpart, which is the 4-2-3-1. And I say that because this variant, including the left mid and the right mid instead of a left attacking midfielder and a right attacking midfielder, this allows for a lot better defensive structure. Primarily because the left mid and the right mid will pick up positions next to the left back, or sorry, the left midfielder, the center midfielder, and the right center midfielder. So you technically kind of going to have that traditional 4-4-2 defensive setup. So if you like to play the normal 4-2-3-1, but you're not a fan of its defending, you may feel like the options in defense aren't as visible, then you're more often than not going to prefer playing with this formation. Now, would I say this formation is meta? Then yes, it absolutely is considered part of the meta. It's a very good formation. However, people like to ask me in my videos that if I think a certain formation that I recently released is the best formation in the game, and I can never really say yes, and that's primarily because there is no such thing as the best formation or the best custom tactics in the game. Everyone plays differently, and one person may prefer the 4-2-2, another person may prefer the 4-3-2-1. It's completely up to how you play in your playing styles to begin with. And it's also hard for me to assess because I can get 20-0 of basically any formation in the game, so it's not really in my position to tell you guys or what formation is the best and what formation isn't the best, you know? But what I can say is obviously what formation is actually usable for, you know, going 20-0, because there have been formations where I realize like they're not going to be meta and they're not going to be that good as well. For example, a lot of the 5-back formations, I think the 5-2-2-1, that was one of the most frustrating formations I've ever tried to review. I think I spent a whole week in league trying to make it work and I just couldn't, so I ended up never posting it. But this formation is obviously not one of those formations. This formation right off the bat was really good. And for a lot of players, I would say this might be the best formation in the game for you, especially if you like formations like the 4-2-2 or the 4-2-3-1. But you needed something that played similar to those but had more defensive discipline. But other than that, I had a lot of fun with this formation, to be honest. And with that being said, if If you like these custom tactics, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Like I said earlier, all credit to Savage Salty from our Discord, which you can find with the link in the description. And with that being said, that's all.